How am I messing up a simple sock? And so many times. So this is a vlog of me making some socks out of crochet. Um, my dad needs a pair of crochet socks, so I'll be working on that in this vlog. For this, I went out and bought some yarn from our local yarn shop. This is spectrum yarn from Ganga Acrolls, and this is a 100% acrylic yarn. It is quite soft. I like the color. And the hook that I will be working with today is this 2.5 hook. I think the recommended is 3 mm, but I don't have the 3 mm one. I have the 3.5. So I'll just be working with this today. The tutorial that I'll be following will be linked down below. So let's start. So I made a gauge swatch with my 2.5 mm hook and the 3.5 mm hook. So with the 2.5 mm hook, I think the resulting fabric would be a lot more tighter and stiffer. Like obviously the hook size is smaller, so the stitches are a lot tighter than before. So this is, I think it is turning out to be too stiff for a sock, which I don't think I prefer that. But when I made with the 3.5 one, this is a lot looser and more stretchier and feels more sock-ish, I guess, if you get what I'm saying. So I think I'll be continuing with this one for the rest of the project. Yeah, and I think it's a good thing that I made the gauge swatch, so I understood which one would be better. Otherwise, making the whole sock and then finding out that it is stiff and not very comfortable to wear would be disastrous, and I would have to redo the entire thing, which I don't want, obviously. So do the gauge swatch, kids, always when you're making a garment. Also, side note, I got to understand that I need to make the foundation stitches more loose because this whole thing is curving up. Also, side note, why is this yarn so fuzzy? Like literally look at all the fuzz on that. I don't know if this is a feature of the yarn or it's just um defective or something, I don't know, but it is quite fuzzy. And I snapped the yarn. Wow. Well, that's my new tail end. It is the next day today, and this is how much progress I have made. The length of this is the length of the foot, and I counted the stitches. It is 1 2 3 4 and 7 stitches here, so in total 47 stitches. I put a stitch marker at every 10 stitches so that it is easier to count. And yes, I use paper clips as stitch markers because they're convenient. And the number of rows I've completed thus far is 14, and I still have a lot more to go. I decided to count the stitches since I'm like almost halfway through it. I decided to count the stitches and see if the number of stitches that I'm working on is equal to with what I started with. So I started with 10, 20, 30, 40 and 46 stitches, and here I counted it was 10, 20, 30, 40 and 45. So I seem to have dropped just one stitch, which is easily fixable, no problem, and it is way better than what I have done in the past when I was a beginner and working this tapestry crochet. I had dropped like 3 to 5 stitches, and instead of becoming a rectangle, it went and became a triangle. So that was a fun unraveling project. But for now, this is going fine, and I think I'm almost halfway done. This much more I'll have to make here. I've started on the next sock. For this time around, I have made 50 chains. So every one of this stitch marker is at 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 50 stitches in total. I feel this sock is on a better start than the previous one, because as far as I can see, there are no weird sizing issues. Yes, there is a bit of curve in this, but that is easily ignored. It's not as noticeable as it was in the previous one, so I don't mind it. This is the panel that I finished for the first sock. There are two problems with it. First of all, you see the length of the edge here. This is the one uh, where I started it, and I worked my way up here, and this is the ending side. You see the length here, so the length is different. Somehow it shrunk as I worked upwards, and now instead of being a rectangle, proper rectangle, it has become a trapezium. I guess the stitches got tighter somehow as I worked my way upwards. But anyway, this is the almost finished one. The second problem is that the length is falling short. I measured the length of the foot, and this needs to be a good 2 inches longer than what it is right now. I made this foundation chain and measured it against the foot, yet I don't know, because of some witchcraft, it turned out to be shorter. So to fix that, now I have to make 2 inches panel more and then attach it to this in order to make it like proper sized. All that aside, this panel took me so long to make. I have worked on this for over a month. Like, I was working on it in between my job and my other work, and plus I had some other projects in between I was working on. So this took me over a month to make. Okay, versus the second second sock for the second sock panel for the second sock. Okay, words are not wording today. Okay, I made this yesterday night. I sat down for around 4 hours, put on some audiobooks, some YouTube videos, and finished this off. Like, I think I need only 2 more rows to make this equal sized. Or maybe it's already equal. Let me check. Okay, lining this up here. See, I think only one more row is needed, 1 or 2 more rows. I finished this in 4 hours. I finished this one in 1 month. So, projects take time. What time difference though? But anyways, this one is the correct size. You can see the size difference in this. Here, let me just align this a bit. You see how wonky this one is. This edge was properly aligned, but this one is not. So I don't know, something will have to be done for this here. Anyways, you can see I have to make another panel of this size to fix it. This one is proper. It barely has any sizing issues, and the tension of the thread throughout is consistent, so it's not curling in too much or having any weird folds in between. I guess I was making the second time, so I had a bit of experience doing it, so it turned out better than the first one. Since these two are finished, I am starting on the extra panel that I have to make. The starting here is 10 stitches, and by here it gets up to 4 or 5 or 3. I'll have to count here. So that's what I'm thinking. I'll make a triangle-ish panel so that this becomes rectangular. I don't know how it's going to look, but let's see. Okay, so I've decided I'm not going to make this into a triangle. I'll just complete this as a long rectangle. because I feel that when I attach it to the finished part, something wonky is going to happen here if it is in the shape of a triangle. Like with the finished sock, it's going to be wonky and uncomfortable to wear, I feel. So just to be on the safe side, I'll make this a regular rectangle only. Okay. Someone with good maths skills or spatial skills need to explain me this. What's happening here? You see, I have aligned them according to their starting points. Their starting tails are aligned on top of each other. Okay, this is the second sock, the first short one. Now, when I flip this and align the edges here, it's difficult to do this with one hand, but okay. Explain me this. How? I've just flipped this. What magic is this? I made this extra panel according to how I thought it would fit here. But then this magic happens. Alright. The width is magically decreased here. Now you see the size difference in the third one. Do you see my problem? Have you spotted my problem yet? I can't believe I have to redo this. Like peak clown behavior. Peak stupidity. I. What went wrong? How am I messing up a simple sock? And so many times, even. Great, I gotta start redoing this, unraveling this. I am going to make this panel so exact it wouldn't know what hit it. Okay, just enough. I'm done. I need to get this finished today as soon as possible. Okay, how many do I need to? This is a set of 10. Alright, 10 stitches. I have unraveled. Now, how many do I need? I think this should be enough. I will count the stitches to make sure. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess 7, 8. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I make the 8 one or do I not make the 8 one? Let me check from this side as well. I do not make the 8 one. This is almost as exact as it would get. This side confirmed. This side also I am confirming it. Now if anything goes wrong, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. One saving grace of me having to redo this panel is the fact that it is so small, so I can quickly finish it. Quickly means around 15 minutes it will take me, 15 to 10 minutes. Also, say hi to this, I don't know what, mess of a yarn, a messy bow of a yarn. You know what, I still cannot believe how much yarn doing single crochet takes. All of this yarn was just that 15 inch, I don't know how many inches long that panel was, but it took this much amount of yarn. And the amount of yarn total remaining I have after making all of this is this. And the entire ball of yarn, what do you call it? I don't don't know. I'll put up the word here. The entire thing of yarn. Only this much is remaining, like the skeletal remains of the original. I can even wear it as a bracelet. You see? Ooh. So I can go outside like this wearing my fancy bracelet. You see? And it's also my working yarn. Multitasking, you know? It's hot fashion right now. Anyways, I'm gonna keep this aside because like you breathe on it wrong and it will just tangle up and become a mess. And I do not want another mess right now. This one is enough. So where was I? Yes. Tell me, what do you watch or listen to while you crochet? I switch between watching TV series or listening to audiobooks of novels or audiobooks of fan fictions. What are you reading currently? Let me know in the comments and I'll tell mine. I just started a new book this morning. Hold up. Hold that thought. Let me count the stitches here because I feel something is wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 7. Yeah, where was I? I have started a new book called Vera Wong's. What is the title? Let me check. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Guide to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Moderators. This is turning out to be an exact fit. So everybody needs to congratulate me right now. Something is going right. What a miracle. Go congratulate me. Half more to do, then it will be complete. Finally, the correctly sized panel is finished. You can see it fits perfectly like this. I have to join this over here and done. I'm done. So here is how the completed thing looks. It looks a bit unsightly on this side, but what can I say? We all have our battle scars. But on the other side, it is a tad bit more seamless as compared to this. Next step is I'm going to move on to finally stitch the sock. It's the final step, and if you have been watching my content, you would understand that I almost always fumble a bit on the last step. It happened with my granny square crochet bag. You can watch the other video. Anyways, for this, this part will be the toe part. I will stitch this, and a part of this. So this will be like sock. Wish me luck. The tutorial requires me to just do a simple running stitch along this edge. So that's what I'm going to do. Tighten this like so. I think I'll have to sew it multiple times across all this so that it stays. Okay. Now with the remaining yarn that I have, I will do some single crochet along this. Ooh, looking like a proper sock now. Gucci, na? So I finished off doing slip stitches along the heel part of the sock. Now it is looking more and more like the finished sock instead of a flat panel with no substance whatever. So this is getting along nicely. One thing the tutorial said to do is to round off this corner by making this triangle here. So instead of having a 90-degree angle, it will be rounded off. So it fits better on the foot. Here is the finished part, finished looking, almost finished sock. Yay! I am doing the final touch ups and weaving in the ends for the first sock. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to do the same for the second one also. So now that I have weaved in the ends, it's time to flip it the right side out. Also, my dad tried this on. I am making this for my dad and he tried it on and the fit was perfect. On my feet it looks huge, but on him it looks perfect. Quite snug, and I hope he likes it. Like initial reactions are that he is liking it, but over time, how based on how the uses, something might start fraying or something happens. I don't know how durable this would be, but let's see. I think I plan to make one more of a different design, one more sock of a different pattern. So I'm not perfectly decided on that. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll see if I have to do it. But for now, this one is complete. Took me only like 2 months to do this. Ooh. Only this much of the original amount of yarn remains. I made my dad model walk those. I hope the socks work out for him. The tutorial I followed, as always, will be linked down below.